Maurice and Anthony, Susan. All right. Oh, it's good. Let me stop my recording. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Cal once again. Today is the 5th of July, 2021, and we're going to start our afternoon MAO right now. Okay, let's proceed. Right. There's a lot of things to share with you today. Let's continue. Okay, all right. Today's caption is pretty clear. India's Millennials, COVID-19 had hit two countries very badly. One of them is USA, the other one is actually India. All right, and of course, India, we all know that the country is suffering a lot because of the lack of the supply and medicines and stuff like that. So, but of course, day to day, still they continue living, right? So we know that usually the people in India, they love to buy gold. All right, buy gold for any celebration, religion, and especially wedding. But recently we noticed that the buying on gold is kind of like tapering off, right? And it seems that gold price is not moving, but crypto is moving up. So what happened in India is that people are actually buying into crypto because they realize that the currency that they're having now, the rupee, isn't really worth much now at the moment, and the valuation is declining. Then of course, gold also seems to be like not moving much. So the only way to really diversify their money and grow something out of it is actually into crypto. And of course, this is an ongoing trend right now. I'll show you the numbers very shortly, all right? But before we start this thing, once again, everybody can understand this disclaimer as usual. Please understand this. My sharing is for learning aid. End of the day, you have to do your own risk management, okay? All right. So if all cool, let's begin, all right? So in India now, India is a gold crazy people. They are millennial turning to cryptocurrency amid the COVID-19 situation. Now, why is that so? Let me explain this to you. First of all, example, this guy Dinesh, he organized his daughter's wedding for a fanfare in May, but was forced to downsize the gathering due to COVID-19 lockdown restriction. That one understand. But what he saved from the reduced splurge, right? The newlywed received in form of Bitcoin. Okay, so what happened is that he actually been reinvesting his money into cryptocurrency because the value of the currency, right, have decreased by the passing day. And of course, right, mulling between the Bitcoin and gold, he decided that Bitcoin make more sense. The rate is good. The what do you call? The earnings in percentage is better. So that's why he goes to do that. And he's not the only one. In fact, itself, right, through the US blockchain data analytics firm Chainalysis, Indian investment into cryptocurrency rose from 923 million in April 2020, and now in just 1 year later, it has went up by $6.6 billion. Oh my goodness. So in one single year itself, right? Okay, 1 year and about 1 month, the massive 600% jump. That is the reason why, and this is not going to stop. Think about this. Now, cryptocurrency Bitcoin had came down from 64,000 down to today 30,000 plus. So imagine if later on Bitcoin goes back to about 60,000, I can tell you the entire India, everybody be veering into that. So now that is why the young investors like Singla, he is veering away from traditional investment like real estate and gold. They feel that, right, all this is no longer that lucrative. In fact, it seemed to be that going into this Bitcoin makes loads of sense. And I can tell you this, they are probably right. And of course, because of that itself, right, the demand for gold also plunged. That's why we don't see much buying from India now on the gold market. But of course, don't get too frightened because gold consumption recently is gradually increasing again. Why is that so? Because gold price started to go higher a little bit. This is what I speculate, but that's not mentioned in this article. So the thing is this, there's something that I share with you guys about what I saw in China, right? I told you guys if China is to do all the clamping, some people say that wouldn't that cause problem? Well, I say yes, it will cause some problem, but you look at what happened in India, the RBI, which is the Reserve Bank of England, in India, they basically put a blanket ban on cryptocurrency. But you notice that, right, okay, that it was overturned by the Supreme Court later. And because of that itself, right, this gives the rampantness of this whole thing moving, all right? So now you can see that whenever there is a blanket ban, after a while later, sooner or later, the pressure will come in again and they had to, no choice, do something to it. And of course, that will create even more people coming in. So of course, we don't say China will do that, but I kind of believe that as time goes by, okay, when cryptocurrency is going to be really vastly accepted by people, then I believe that, right, this will cause another upside movement once all these bans are taken away. All right, so this is what happened in India. But of course, some people start to question about Bitcoin. Now, example like Bloomberg, right? As we mentioned, it says that Bloomberg, the price chart shows a warning signal. So I was wondering, what is this signal about? I take a look. Well, okay, someone used a major trend line to draw and basically says that because of this major trend line, it has initially supported it, but now it went below it and kind of like resisted, all right? So because of that itself, right, this particular Chartist says that on Bloomberg, we may see a lower level coming in. Okay, so that is what is mentioned here. So the article said that, okay, this is a key trend line that acts as support for Bitcoin, and now is flashing a bearish immediate outlook unless price can retake the barrier. So in short line, they want, if it stays below this trend line, accordingly, there should be some selling. If it stays above the trend line, it may just resume upside. So this is what is mentioned on Bloomberg. So to me is that I have my own opinion. I'll share with you later on. But then again, with this, all this buying in India now, right, you can see that the Bitcoin mining now is now easier and much more profitable as algorithm adjusts after China crackdown. So remember that back then when we talk about China, the crackdown, people are getting concerned and say, hey, if China not coming in anymore, with crackdown ongoing, will Bitcoin fall? And I told you that the answer is no. I said that in fact itself, right, it will be a good level to look at to buy bit by bit, because there are rational reasons for that. So let me explain to you what's the reason. Number one, all right, with more than 54% of the Bitcoin hash rate, right, which is the collective computing power of the miners worldwide, you can see that, right, it basically makes Bitcoin mining easier. It basically recalibrates to make it 28% less difficult to mine. So because of that itself, right, you can see now China, who has been the long epicenter of Bitcoin miners, now because of their crackdown, right, okay, all this have caused for the Bitcoin network history a complete reduction. All right, so now with that itself, right, that means that more people are using lesser effort, lesser money, lesser energy to do the mining. Of course, you're lesser competitors now, right? So if you don't understand this, typically, right, fewer people mining means fewer blocks are solved each day. Typically, it takes about 10 minutes to complete a block, but now it takes about 14 to 19 minutes to do a block. So because precisely that Bitcoin recalibrate every 2016 blocks, or about every 2 weeks, resetting how tough is for miners to mine. But on Saturday, after all the crackdown, right, the Bitcoin code automatically make it about 28% less difficult to mine. So which means that now, right, mining become much, much easier. And of course, if it's easier, lesser power consumption, then of course the overall gains will be better, right? So just now we just need to have the price going up. Then all those people who are, having no problem right now, they are actually enjoying themselves. So that's why I say that Bitcoin price in general with the crackdown will be better for the for the entire crypto market. Okay, all right, so that's what's happening over there. So I think there's a missing video here. Let me just insert for you. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Here we go. Let me share with you right now with the crackdown what's happening now, because they are moving away. All right, I mean, people know that this is still a valuable asset, right? So if China cannot do, they may move to somewhere else. Let's take a look.
Is undergoing a major overhaul. More than half the world's miners are essentially being kicked out of China, and they're looking for a new home. Remember, Bitcoin miners are totally location agnostic, so they can go anywhere. I'm hearing that one popular destination is China's next door neighbor, Kazakhstan, with its cheap and abundant coal supply. But the United States could also see a major influx of migrant miners. I spoke to the mayor of Miami, who's looking to draw in Chinese miners with the promise of cheap and clean nuclear power.
We know that a lot of mining happens in coal-producing countries. like Russia and China. We think that this is a strategic disadvantage for the United States. And we think the United States and Miami, of course, being one of the major cities and the one that we want to define as a global hub, have a unique opportunity. The fact that we have nuclear power means that it's very inexpensive power. It's cleaner power, or it's the cleanest form of power other than solar and wind. So we want to make sure that our city has an opportunity to compete. So we're looking at a variety of different incentives that we might be able to create.
Wyoming has also trended toward being pro-Bitcoin, and Texas has been rolling out the red carpet to miners as well. Despite a lack of reserves that caused blackouts this winter, Texas often has some of the world's lowest energy prices, and its share of renewables is growing over time. Texas has a deregulated power grid, and crucially, its political leaders are very pro-crypto. Ultimately, what miners care about is finding the cheapest source of power out there. And nowadays, that tends to be renewable energy. Depending on where they end up, this could fundamentally reshape the debate about Bitcoin being bad for the environment. If all those miners head to places with renewable energy sources, we could see Bitcoin's carbon footprint shrink.
Okay, so you can see that, right? China cracks down, so it become people must move on, right? So what they do, they go to Kazakhstan, all right? If not, they're going back to US. Just think about it. So what happened now? If US had to have all the mining done in the country, of course, again, prices will go up and stuff like that. But again, that means that it's to become that the asset class will just shift a little bit to US side. So overall, I say people will not stop mining. All right, people just keep on doing that. If this country say no, they'll go to another country which offer the solution, right? And you can see that seem like US, Kazakhstan, they're all pretty happy with this mining because it does help to increase one another the economy. All right, so that's what happened now, even though that Bitcoin have a problem in China, but don't worry, things continue, all right? Oh, sorry. Hey, on, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, but then again, there are 5 worries about Bitcoin that you need to take note, the 5 risks, in fact. So these are the 5 risks to take note, okay? First risk, of course, is a regulation. Now, China has clamped down, we all know that already. And of course, this crackdown has moved on and spread to UK, which the regulator actually bans some of the leading digital currency, banning the digital currency exchange Binance, right, based on some of the regulated activity. So now not only just UK, Singapore, and other countries are also watching this very closely. So that is the first point that you must take note is regulation. Then the second one is volatility. Now we all know that Bitcoin, the volatility is really, really quite incredible. One moment is 64,000, almost 65,000 early this year in April. Then after that, it just tumbled all the way down to 28,000. It's kind of like a little bit dangerous because it's like having a currency that's worth, you have a currency that's worth $100, example, then just about a few months it's worth 50% of it. This is something that the investors don't like because it's like too dangerous, too volatile. And of course, like it's today have it, tomorrow don't have it. So that is the reason why volatility is not good. And you look carefully now, this is S&P 500 versus the Bitcoin. Look at the Bitcoin. The way the Bitcoin go up and go down in percentage form versus the S&P, really the Bitcoin dwarf the S&P, all right? So you can see if S&P up and down is still stable within down or up within 2 to 3%, but you look at the volatility of Bitcoin, it's really incredible. So one moment it can be down by 25%, it can be up by 10%. So that is the reason why traders don't really like it. So undeniable, unless Bitcoin can really stabilize properly like a fiat currency, lesser movement like this, then maybe, things people get more interested in it, more people will come into it, all right? Then of course, the environmental concern obviously is that the amount of energy, electricity need to be used to run the mine, the Bitcoin. So people are getting a bit worried. And of course, the carbon footprint is the one that people are now talking about it. Now the stable coin scrutiny, right? Obviously, we want something more stable. So that's why Federal Reserve Bank of Boston President Eric mentioned that, right, this Tether, a stable coin would be a better choice. You feel that this Tether is able to maintain its 1-to-1 US dollar backup. So overall, but then there's some concern whether they have enough US dollar reserve to justify the peg. So you need to have same amount to justify it. So again, about stablecoin scrutiny, environmental concern, and the last one will be the meme coin and scams. As you know, even in Singapore, there are a lot of scams now revolving about cryptocurrency, and people telling you that you just give them money, they give you 5 times return, really 5 times, not 5% return, stuff like that. So even like Dogecoin now, apparently it's just only a joke, but now he's at one stage, it's worth more than 4. My goodness. And of course, we have people like Elon Musk coming in to play with it, so causing a lot of people getting a bit worried. And of course, recently there's this apparently this decentralized finance or DeFi token, right, called Titan, right? It crashed to 0. And of course, a self-made billionaire investor Mark Cuban was also a holder, but he also lost money. So that's why we have people getting worried because more scams are popping up and more people are telling you this meme coin itself can't really stay. We do see a lot of meme coin being pumped and dumped. That means that all of them go in before the listing, and the day when it lists out itself, right, the coin just shoot up. And right, if you're not fast enough, within minutes to an hour, you can go back down again. And if you jump in at the high, you get caught, that's the end. So that's why a little bit like our Singapore, like global penny counters, where they get pumped and dumped. And it seems that the crypto market is also doing that. But of course, you say that you just stick to Bitcoin, the main coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA. I think these are okay because they at least the volatility is not that crazy compared to this sort of decentralized, all these crypto coins and stuff like that. Okay, so these are the 5 main worries that or concern or risk for Bitcoin. But if any time itself, right, if let's say regulation can be settled and volatilities have to stabilize down, then of course more people use cleaner energy to run it. And last of all, we have all the regulator trying to prevent people from doing scams. Then I think that this Bitcoin will gradually be accepted by more people. And when that happens, the coin value will just escalate on its own. All right. So that is what I had to brought for you for all the crypto news that I went through over the last 3 or 4 days to get back to you. All right. So we still see that overall, there are still pretty good upside potential for cryptocurrency. Okay. So let's look at the technical side for today. Let's go. Okay. So now let's look at the Bitcoin first. Now, Bitcoin has been pretty sideways for the last few days. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for 10. But today, 10 days have been sideways between the 36,000 mark and the 31,000 mark. So it's a 5,000 points range. Okay, but at the moment, you can see that the KSI, the big boys, the whales are still buying. So even though anytime when there's a pullback, people will still look to buy. Okay. All right, there's no much indication at the KCX side. So basically now we're just waiting for the clear breakout. Now, at the moment, I did mention to you last week, 36,000 is the main first resistance. It has a clear. Then after that, the nearer one is for 37,600. So these two numbers has to clear first before we see any further upside. But the one that really very instrumental, very important to me is this price at 43,000, right? 43,000.2 to be precise. This is a very important resistance that the Bitcoin has to cross, because as long as Bitcoin cannot cross 43,200, right, for it to resume back to 60,000, it's going to be very tough based on my own indicator called TSCB. Okay, so 3 numbers watch out for: 36,000, 37.6, and 43.2. Okay, so at the moment now, the market is still sideways. I'll leave it there alone. Then after that, now what we have is the Ethereum. Now Ethereum is actually picking up itself. Overall looks better than Bitcoin. It seems that it has came all the way down and now it got supported. Color changed over, red to yellow. The boys are buying, and you notice this, there's no more blue bar at the bottom. Now, no more blue bar at the bottom means that the market is kind of pretty bullish right now. Okay, so for Ethereum, the first level to take note is 2390, which just marginally missed this morning. All right, the next level will be about 2540 level. All right, so if Ethereum can cross 2390 and stabilize, the next level it should go is 2540. And if 2540 can cross, it should be able to come all the way to 27 2740 level, and that's a TSCB. So if really the Ethereum can cross 2740, then I'm pretty sure we could see the it going back to about 4,000 easily. All right. So watch out for 2740. It has to cross for it to cross back to $4,000. Okay. All right. So that is my personal view on this Ethereum. All right. For traders, you can consider that. Okay. At that moment right now. Now, this is the thing. If you're looking at the conventional chart just still on telling us that Bitcoin is still trying to find its base, although it's kind of supported at the MA 11 at the moment. The MA 70 is about 38,271. So there's some distance still. All right. And for Ethereum, well, it is really lift itself away and above the MA 11. And of course, now it's going to test the MA 200 mark. So if this market Ethereum can cross the MA 200 mark, it's about 2,500 level and stabilize, then most likely we could see Ethereum on its own recovers, and it may go all the way up again to take down the previous chocolate bar, and eventually the next point is about 4,000 mark. Okay, so that is what we are seeing right now for the cryptocurrency space at the moment. Okay. All right, now today is a US holiday, so the market is kind of slow right now, but we just do a quick review of the general market. I come to the end of the crypto side already. Let's do a quick one. Now you can see that the China A50 is still dropping, still coming off. So this tells you that China's side likely will be hitting the 16,685 level. Hong Kong, we can see that today Hong Kong has came down earlier below 28,000, but now it's stage a rebound. Why is that so? Because the KSI is still green in color. So that's why the downside is going to be limited, at least for today. And for gold is very flat today because US holiday, right? So there's won't be much movement, all right? So for today, practically for the US markets, right, all the gold and commodities are expected to go slow because of the 4th of July Independence Day, okay? All right. So with that is all right. I come to the end of today's MAO. I hope you guys have heard me loud and clear with regards of the market direction and the view. At the moment now, I'm not that comfortable to buy too much Bitcoin, Ethereum first. I think it's a good time to just go slow, wait for a clearer picture before entering. Okay. All right. Till then again, this is Kel signing off. Have a great day. Bye-bye.